So now what I want to walk through, and there's going to be a little bit of crossover here, right? But that's good. That's important. What I want to walk through now is the 13 rules every product must fit. All right. So first and foremost, number one is in every single offer, we need to be able to sell the offer to most, if not all of the market or markets that we decide to go after. Now that's a mouthful. It's a big mouthful. So I got to give Russell Brunson his second props and his final props for today's webinar. As I sat at Funnel Hacking Live, I took a picture and I posted it on Twitter and I think on LinkedIn. There's a picture of me doing a selfie with the entire crowd of 5,000 people behind me. And in that post, I talked about my aha moment, right, was that none of my offers are big enough or wide enough. And what I really mean by that is that all of my offers to date, everything that I sell to an agency, and to be frank, guys, like it's a little weird to talk about, but everything that I sell to you guys as well applies to a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of the marketplace. And I used to think that that was really cool until I was surrounded by 5,000 people at Russell Brunson's event. And it all came sinking in. Holy shit, I'm missing the boat. Derek says, where's that pic? On my LinkedIn, I believe. I know for sure, and I believe it's also Derek on my Twitter, personal on both. So that has to change. Right? Like I need a big honking sexy foot in the door offer that delivers amazing value that everybody can see the value in, right? And that I can sell to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the marketplace. And if I can do that, if I can just do that, and I can build a great value ladder in terms of sales, it's fucking game over. Give me a 3 if that was a good takeaway for you guys, because this for me, I mean, it seems freaking obvious, but guys, like literally 10 years in the making, I've been shitting the bed, so to speak. I've been letting this one just pass me by. Rule number 2 is that each and every product has to stand on its own with the value that it drives. What I mean by that is if somebody kind of skips their way in the value ladder and they skip option number 1 and they buy option number 2, right? Like what I want to sell after they buy number 1. If they go directly, they skip go, they pass product offering number 1 somehow, and they buy number 2, I want it to be able to stand on its own with value. I don't want them to have to purchase 1 to make 2 worthwhile, which then makes 3 worthwhile. Okay? Each and every product needs to and must stand on its own with value. I see a lot of people packaging in and adding in. I got a bronze, I got a silver, I got a gold, but they're packaging in and they're adding in things that are, can I just say it? Shit. Right? They're fluff. They don't work. They don't deliver results. They don't make you look good, right? And they definitely don't stand on their own. Rule number 3 of the 13 rules every product must fit is that it's gotta be capable of being communicated with a big marketing idea. So this comes from my neighbor here, little southwest of me, Todd Brown. And if you guys don't follow Todd Brown, I would highly suggest it. We got a great interview with Todd Brown on the Digital Triggers site and on the YouTube channel. Just go back a ways to like the start of the channel. One of the first interviews that we did here at Digital Triggers was with Todd Brown. Todd is a brilliant, brilliant copywriter and angles guy. And the thought process is that each and every product that you sell has to be able to be communicated with what he calls this quote unquote big marketing idea that makes it, your product, better than every other product in the marketplace, even if they're similar. So there's got to be some type of unique mechanism, right, in the product that you can sell, right, with this big marketing idea so that you become the thought leader and you become the standard, you become the go-to. No. You know, Jamie's product doesn't have the whiz bang, right? I'm going with Joe's because his has got the whiz bang, right? And that's what makes this whole thing work. It's that type of quote unquote big marketing idea, that type of big hook or angle that you need to really stand out. And if I'm going to go try to sell a product and I'm going to go try to compete in the marketplace, I'm going to need that big marketing idea, right? So that I can grab the prospects, right? Like I'm fishing, right? Fish in a barrel. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so think about that unique mechanism and think about how you can communicate that in what Todd calls his big marketing idea. So again, if you're not familiar with that, a little studying that you guys can do, go look up Todd Brown on the Digital Triggers site or on YouTube. Fantastic, fantastic resource there. Okay. Number 4, each and every product should add on value or enhance the value of our other products. Right? So everything should be like doing multiplication, not just addition, if that makes sense. It's not just going to help it a little bit, it's going to help it a lot. Why? Why is that important, guys? The value ladder. Right? So 1 plus 1, I'm not interested in getting to 2. Right? How do I have 1 plus 1 equals 5? That's the context. Right? So how do we build a menu of offerings, right? An upgrade path of offerings, a value ladder, right? Where each and every item that you sell enhances and multiplies the value of the other products. Because if you can do that, you can get your customers to upsell themselves. Number 5 is to be capable of delivering your product at a minimum, I should be getting a big fat thank you for this one, 75% margin. Way too many of you guys are running super skinny profit margins. It's no wonder you're not taking home the money that you should be. Right? Joe, I got a business doing 30 grand a month. Great, fantastic, you're crushing it. No, I'm taking home 3 grand a month. What the hell? So it is a rule. It is a rule, right? Rule number 5, that every product we can deliver at a minimum of a 75% margin. Why is this so important, guys? This isn't me being greedy, right? This is me being happy. This is my team being happy. This is us being able to fulfill and get amazing results, right? And this is me being able to scale. See, a lot of businesses get to 10, 15, 20 grand a month, even like the example that I gave, 30 grand a month as an agency, and then they just run into a wall. And a lot of times the reason is that margin. Number 6, you guys will love this one too. For all you fulfillment experts out there, And for all of you guys, sales guys that are selling custom off things, you're going to hate me for this one. Each and every product that you sell should be deliverable in a single process that does not require customization for each client. Now, does that mean if you're creating, banners that you can't change out the logo? No. What I really want you guys to get though is that the process doesn't get customized for each client, right? The process is the process. If the process is, we're going to take the logo and apply it to the website, that's fine. Your process can't change. So I know a lot of you guys are selling deals, and you're selling deals with a tweak here, a tweak there, you're making exceptions here, you're making exceptions there. Folks, that doesn't work at scale. Right? When you're bringing on 10, 15, 20 customers a week, or for some of you guys, it would be in a month, right? And your fulfillment team, you have to communicate all these tweaks and changes with, and they have to communicate right? All your product managers, your fulfillment managers have to communicate it to everybody on the team. And then when they're checking the work, it has to be communicated as well, right? You're gonna mess shit up, and that shit is gonna end up losing you customers. So don't think that you're doing the customer a favor. When you make an exception to changing your process, right? When you agree, when you let a customer talk you into changing your process, you are doing them a disservice, not a favor, because you're gonna shit the bed. Your team's gonna mess up, and it's gonna be your freaking fault. So when we do sales training, when I do sales training, we talk about selling with quality, right? And the goal of selling with quality is to ensure that one thing happens. When you take a prospect from a prospect to a customer, that they stick around once they buy, right? And that they're happy. Okay? One of the easiest and most surefire ways to screw that up and to not sell with quality is to make exceptions to the process. Yeah, no problem, I'll include that too. Or yeah, I know we don't actually do that, but I'll make it happen for you. It's gonna piss off your customer, you're gonna lose them. What's gonna happen when you don't sell with quality? You're gonna be onboarding people as fast as people are canceling and offboarding, which means your company isn't growing and you're running 100 miles an hour to not grow. Trust me, I've been there. It sucks, it really sucks. Completely spinning your wheels. Next, point number 7 is show long-term value for retention. So a lot of things that I feel like people in the yes, I'm saying it. I feel like a lot of people are in the agency market are selling things to local business owners that have short-term value, not long-term value. All right, so hey, Mr. Customer, I'll help you get a bunch of reviews really quick. Great, how much is it gonna cost? It's gonna cost $1,000. And then they're like, why didn't that customer stick around? Everything should be delivering long-term value. And if you're delivering long-term value, right, you're gonna have retention. Folks, at the end of the day, monthly billing, monthly recurring revenue is the thing that's going to make you able to exit and to leave your company one day, right? Without that, you can never leave. So I want you guys to understand that you are building a company that you can never leave. You can't ever get out of it. I mean, you can, but it's going to be ugly. Retention is the name of the game, right? Nobody wants to buy a business that doesn't have retention. So when we're building out the product and the value ladder, the suite of products that we're going to offer, we 100% have to be able to show and demonstrate the value, the return for retention, long term, not just in month 1. Frankie Allen says, Joe, you're on fire today. Thanks, homie. You would never know that I woke up at 4:30 this morning. Yeah. and that this is my second webinar. Okay, so all right, so number 8. This is gonna ruffle some feathers. This is really gonna ruffle some feathers. My 8th criteria, my 8th rule, right, of the 13 rules every product must fit, is that each and every product has to be capable of being bought with a buy now button. Does it mean that they have to be bought with a buy now button? No. But they have to be capable of being bought with a buy now button. So let's unpack that a little bit. What does that mean? I believe that a lot of us, a lot of people in the industry have sold low ticket kind of front end products to get their foot in the door with a customer. I think it's a great way to blow up the number of customers that you have really fast. I think that the downside is that at scale is tough, right? And the reason that people do that is then to upsell into another offer. So me personally, I want to challenge that in my business, right? So I'm getting on a call to give away something, to then get on a call and upsell something. Just seems like a lot. I'm not saying a foot in the door offer is wrong, but if I really do a good job with 1 through 7, and I do a really good job on the other list of 1 through 6, if I really challenge myself, I challenge the big idea, I challenge the unique mechanism, I challenge the value ladder, right? And every other thing that we've walked through so far, shouldn't I be able to get them to buy now with a buy now button instead of having to jump on a consult or a phone call or a strategy call? If it's that good, if it really fits all of these rules, why? I see a lot of people in the industry zigging. And I believe that the money is made when you zag. I'm gonna zag. So what I mean by that, I'll give you an example in the industry. I'm sure you guys can come up with other examples. I see a lot of people in this space saying that you should run a strategy call from the get-go with a cold prospect. Then with that strategy call, you should build out a marketing plan, or the bare bones of the marketing plan. And from there, right after that marketing plan is built out on this strategy session call, you get their help in building out the plan. Then you charge them 10 grand to help flesh out that plan for you. Not to do it, right? Not step by step, just to flesh it out, right? Then once you sell that $10,000 package, right, and you fulfill on it, then you go from there and you sell a $10,000 a month offer. Folks, that's what your competition is doing right now. That's what's being taught. That's what most quote unquote big successful agencies, or a lot of them, are doing. I believe that we can skip that. I believe that we can scale it. I believe that we can scale this whole thing, this whole agency, a whole lot faster if we follow the criteria that I've been through so far, right, and the rest of these 13, and we think about this truly being capable of being bought with a buy now button. That doesn't mean that we can't jump on a webinar to have people buy. That doesn't mean that we can't provide a foot in the door or value first. That doesn't mean that if we have a really good qualified prospect on the line and has one question, that we can't jump on the phone with them. Right? So number 8, again, is that the product is capable of being bought or being sold with a buy now button. Good shit? Give me an 8 if that was good. I think this one's worth its weight in gold. And I think this is the key to a lot of scale for people on this call right now. Number 9, you guys know me. I deal a lot with Google. I love Google. I also hate Google. Right? It's a very much give, take, and a lot of take relationship, it seems like. Google is a big public company. You know, they throw all of us the zoo, the pandas, the penguins, and the hummingbirds and everything else. With Google, you see them itching in and taking kind of market share, you could argue, away from agencies. Right? Do I ever think that there won't be a need for agencies? No. Like, business owners aren't marketers and they don't know what's happening. They're not up to speed. There will always be a need for people that understand what they don't. Right? And it's not because most of them are dumb. Well, some of them are. It's mostly just an education ploy. They haven't went through the hundreds of hours of education on marketing that you guys have, or the thousands of hours. So number 9 for me is a lot about fundamentals and not being able to be replaced by a Google, we will do it for you offer. Number 10, require no more than 1 client interaction per month. Yeah. So outside of onboarding a customer, right? I don't believe that there's any time that you should need more than 1 client interaction per month. Take this from a guy that has sold huge whales, right? Spending $100,000 a month in PPC, $80,000 a month in PPC. Sold one gentleman that was doing about that across 2 different accounts, so double those numbers, right? In 1 sale, right? That's a freaking whale of a client. Trust me when I say there is no need for more than 1 client interaction per month. If both parties come to the table prepared, it will be an effective and efficient meeting. There are no guarantee, or there are no reasons, quite literally, there are no reasons for, as Derek says, calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. Frankly, that's bullshit, right? And we need to do a better job as agencies setting the proper expectations. Larry says 10, smiley face. Number 11 is we need to not be dependent on clients' actions. How many of you guys have products that you're selling right now, that you're onboarding customers for, that you literally can't onboard a customer, meaning you can't actually start doing work for them without them doing something? So let me get this straight, Larry, Derek, right? Ricardo, Paul, Frankie, Michael, Larry, right? I just paid you X amount of dollars and now you need me to do something else? How many tasks is it? I thought it was 1. I need to do 10 things? Like, why'd you just create me a job, Larry? Why'd you just create me a job, Frankie? So think about how you can make that process as seamless as possible, right? And you need to not be dependent on your client's actions. So I'll give you an example of how we overcome some tricky scenarios like this, if this makes sense to you guys. Give me a 2 if you want me to cover this real fast. Fill out the intake form. Yeah, not really though. It doesn't really work. 2, not in most scenarios anyway, Frankie. So what we're doing in 11 is once we sell a deal, the first thing that happens, we always get paid right away, immediately, right? So a deal doesn't get onboarded until we get paid. That should be obvious. Everybody should be falling in line with that, right? But immediately what happens in the sales process, we get the customer to sign, right? We get the credit card information, we got the agreement signed, we charge the card, yes, it went through. All right, great, Mr. Customer. We quite literally have them open up their calendar and we schedule a call with our fulfillment team. Okay, the fulfillment manager then runs that call. She comes on, he comes on, right? And what they do on that call is very strategic. What we're doing is we're getting access to Facebook, we're getting access to Google, we're getting access to everything that we need access to, and we're doing it on the phone with the customer. Why? So when they send us their login, instead of actually having the onboard call, that they don't get the text message verification, they don't get the somebody from India is logging into your account, right? Somebody from the Philippines, somebody from, right, one of the outsourcers that we're using doesn't set off security metrics. For those of you guys that have scenarios like this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then your client goes, hey, Frankie, like I'm paying you, a lot of money for this. Who's logging into my account? I thought you did this stuff. Frankie, you're the expert, right? Guys, this makes some pretty sticky situations. Okay? And just the back and forth, even if your team's all in the States, let's take the outsourcing off the table. Your team's all in the States. Just onboarding a customer to run ads on any platform and get access to Google Analytics and install this tracking code and that tracking code and all that stuff. I challenge you guys that couldn't be done on one phone call in onboarding. Number 12 is that there has to be identifiable problems or opportunities that enable us to outbound prospect to what I call likely suspects. This simply means that I can find that if I'm going to sell PPC, that they're not using things that they should be, right? If they have a website, right, is it mobile optimized? If they're in Google My Business, is it verified, right? So I need to be able to find prospects that have problems. And guys, all problems are really opportunities. They're opportunities for you as an agency to solve them, but they're also opportunities for the local business to get fixed, right? That will make them money, that will save them money. Every problem is a potential opportunity, okay? And so that's why I call them problem/opportunities, okay? But we need to have those triggers that we can find that make us able to outbound prospects to people that we can help. So many of you guys know that my messaging for all of my prospecting is, I know that you have this problem. I've helped other people do it. Here's proof. Would it be worth me helping you too? That's how complicated my sales message is. It's not hard, right? Not hard. Number 13, guys, this is it. The 13 rules every product must fit. Number 13 is, of course, folks, be part of that larger value ladder. So if your product matches everything, the last criteria is, where do we stick it in the value ladder? And does this make sense? If it meets every other criteria, if it meets all the other 12 criteria, where does it fit? And does it fit? Or is there a conflict? Don't stick a product into your services, right? Into your value ladder haphazardly. Have this criteria.